Hey everyone, welcome back. Icon here. Thanks for checking out another episode of Esports Analysis. Today, we're hopping on board with Formal as he and the rest of the guys at Chicago take on New York Subliners. We're playing Hardpoint on the map St. Petrograd, and the reason why I elected to stick with Formal here, so I could have hopped on board with Formal, Scump, or Envoy, but I wanted to watch Formal just because a map like this, where the lanes are a little bit longer and the sight lines are a little bit further, really favors an AR dominant player like Formal. You can already see it. Those are 3 kills that are just nasty kills that go a long way towards trying to control spawns. This is one of those maps where controlling spawns is basically everything. It's super important to be able to control spawns. Another kill right there. That's just insane. Now, as we go ahead and get into this one a little bit, there is something that I want to talk about. So up in the top right-hand corner, I just want to kind of go back through and show you what was happening at the beginning there. You can notice here that as the last 10 seconds tick off here, it's going to be like a 46-1 lead at the end of P1. Now, the main reason why this happens, so first hill is down here, second hill is down here, is back here over to the right. And again, I'm drawing on screen in the top right-hand corner in case you wanted to follow. But essentially what was happening is a lot of resources for Chicago were heading mid-map, we're heading into blue courtyard, and they're trying to flip these spawns because as we rotate back to this second hill, you want to have this back bar spawn, and you want to have the enemy spawn over here by this water's edge area. So that whole first map, they're really trying to flip that spawn, and I guess I can turn this green for Chicago, but Chicago really wanted this spawn here, and they weren't able to get it, and that's fine. It's not the end of the world if you're not able to get it, because it's actually fairly easy to contest this second hill. It's a lot easier to contest this hill than some of the other ones. And I know that sounds a little bit backwards from what we've talked about in the past, but I think that strategy is changing a little bit. But essentially, I think that teams need to start sending more resources in towards that first hill, because if you leave that first hill with a 50-point deficit because you didn't spend enough resources in there and you're not able to flip spawns for the second hill, well, now you're going to be down by, look at the score in the bottom left-hand corner. You're going to be down by 80-some points going into that third hill, when if at least you would have got the majority of the points in the first hill, if you would have gotten that, and you would have gave up the second, then what would the score be? Maybe 50-40. You might be down by 10 at most, 15 or 20. So I just think that it's not worth the risk versus reward. If you end up spawning out to start this map, I think it might be more worth it to get 40 points out of that first hard point and then contest that second hard point as much as you can from bad spawn. That way, as you're going back into the third hard point, you might be down by 10, 15 points, but it would probably be an even game as it rotates back to this third hard point. So as we are in this third hard point, there's 4 seconds left, so this is about to rotate back to the other side of the map. Again, P4 is back here, so you do want to have this back spawn, but you don't want a turtle in this back spawn, and this is something I see a lot. I can almost guarantee you that there will be multiple people in the hill here for Chicago. I wish that, if I was on board with Scump or somebody else, you'd be able to see, but so I was just trying to look right there, but look at the minimap in the top left-hand corner. You can see 2 or 3 arrows inside that bar hardpoint. You can see it right now. Look at the minimap. There are multiple people in that hardpoint where teams just need to start pushing out a little bit. If you have 1 or 2 people inside 4, then put somebody up in top blue where Formal was just out. Put somebody over here right on the edge of P1. So push out past that entry door a little bit, because now once they get pushed in hill, look, now one team has the other half, one team has this half, and they're able to win those gun battles, but that easily could have went against them, and then now they would have just forfeited the rest of that time. So I don't love these plays that I'm seeing. You need to push out a little bit. Now they did a nice job of getting back into the game, right? They got the majority of those points. I just feel like you could have been a little bit more successful there in certain ways if you would have pushed out into the chokes. Now, the other thing that I want to point out is, let's talk about spawns. So again, on the minimap, I'm just going to be writing up here, but this is a spawn that you want to hold down on the right side of the map for about 4/5, about 80% of this map. You want to hold down this back spawn, because if you think about it, for the first hard point, you want to hold down that spawn so that you have spawns as it rotates to the second hard point. So in the second hard point, you want to have that spawn because you end up getting a lot closer and the cuts are much easier to get from the other side. For the third hard point, when we get back to this side, that's the only one where you probably want to have this back spawn over here if you can get it, just because it's a lot closer and it's a lot easier to contest as you get into that third hard point from that back spawn. So then from there, when you get back to 4, so think about the fourth hard point, you want to have this back right spawn. And as you go into the fifth hard point, you want to have that spawn again. So this is one of those maps where I don't know. It's just a totally different strategy, right? If you're talking about Ramaza on a map like that, the second hill electronic shops on the left, barbershops on the right, constructions on the left, ruins is on the right. So that ping pongs back and forth across the map. A map like this, it's really one-sided. If you have the fourth hill, or if you have the fourth spawn back there, that bar spawn by fourth hard point, then you're going to be able to get the majority of the points, and you're probably going to end up winning a map like this. Now, one thing I will say is I like that beginning effort there by Chicago a little bit more. You notice that time a few more people were in that first hard point, and they weren't just giving up that time despite the fact they didn't have spawns as it rotates back to the other side. Now, this is a really close game, and I realize as it's rotating here to the second side that Chicago doesn't have anybody on that side of the map. So spawns are currently being controlled by New York, and this seems like it's going to be one of those things that come down to the wire here. So with that, let me just go ahead. This is normally the point in the video where I'll let you guys listen in. So I'll give you like a minute or so to just listen in, hear what Chicago's talking about. I love the fact that we have the ability to do that in scrims because it allows you to pick up on what they're saying and what their strategy might be moving forward. So with that, let me go ahead. Let me turn you guys up a little bit. Let's listen to what they're saying here.
Trey's court one shot. Trey's court one shot.
Trey's court one shot. Looks like they're all overruled. There's like 3 or training guys.
Yeah, they just fucking nice to play.
Guys, we're gonna miss one. We're missing one probably.
Yo, front bar. He's pitching first. Yeah, one. There he is, Donnie. And one's behind you first after that. I don't know where the fuck you went. Might have went mid-street then? I don't know where the fuck you went. I'm going river.
There's one river. One bullet. Yeah, first now.
I'm gonna try to get top.
This is a really dominant spot. If he can get on this ambulance head glitch, I would have liked to have seen him jump up there, because if you're taking that battle out from the right side of the street there, then that's going to be a fairly contested 50-50 gun battle. But this is a nice spot for Formal because he can get these kills down these long sight lines as the enemy's trying to rush from that P2 over to P3. Again, see, that's exactly what I was talking about. Why take a 50-50 gun battle there when you could hop up on top of that ambulance and then you could have the head glitch, and that would no longer be a 50-50 gun battle. It's too risky. You could have made that a lot easier.
Oh, you guys. Get on, Donnie. Oh, you're so pissed.
Top has, we flipped. Good job.
More gate him. Gate. Court. Good job, guys. Good plays. I've been street. Good job, Pierce.
Next 25 seconds here, if they're able to get the rest of this time, this will put them in really nice shape going back to fourth on the other side of the map.
No, I don't.
Just real quick, I was staring at the mini-map. There is somebody on the opposite side of the map. I don't know who it is, but notice when Formal comes up, he got this spawn. Wish I could see who's behind him over there to the left. But whoever is in P4 right there to the left of Formal screen, that person is responsible for Chicago flipping spawns here. That's probably going to end up winning the game. I don't know if they're going to win, but if they do, that's a massive play there. Whoever rotated early and was able to lock down this spawn for them.
Top blue. There's two top blue. Top blue, front bar. There's three mid-street. All over blue van trying to pinch side.
I have side.
More side, nice.
Nice kills by RCs there. That man is so clutch.
For some reason,
Five down.
Oh, they're all front. Somebody get top blue.
I'm coming top blue.
I went top. There's a guy blue van.
Looking side. More front. Two front.
I'm challenging front.
Lamar's weak. Good job, guys.
Oh.
God.
Still one off that way.
All right, so they can still win off this current hill. Now they can't. So now it's going to have to go back into the fifth hill. So as they rotate into P5 here, now it doesn't matter necessarily which side you're spawning on, right? Because this is going to be it. If you can get in and get 15 seconds, that's going to be the end of the game. So in terms of this, while you might want to think about pinching from behind, it's not the end of the world. You're just trying to get in and get the last 12 seconds here so you can pick up the map W.
Just help backdoor. There's a better play.
I'm trying to hill attach.
Still just holding L, guys.
More hill.
Pinch mid. It's bed all dead.
I spun far, dude.
I'm about to give up L, bro.
I don't like whoever is just hiding up there. The blue dot to Formal's left there. Somebody's just hiding up at top rails.
I'm watching. Backdoor.
Need 5 seconds here. They have to push through this back door. Ooh, that's bad luck.
Backdoor, guys.
He knew where they were coming from, but there were just too many of them. They need 3 seconds. And after this, it goes back to P1. This game is pretty much over, right? Even if it does go back to P1, they're going to be able to push into that and get 3 seconds there. They're already set up. So nice job by RCDs there. They're actually spawning there. So anybody that they end up going down is going to end up spawning on top of them. They need 2 seconds left. Nice nade there as they came in. And they get a pretty close, a pretty contested 250 to 226 victory. Let's go ahead. I want to see the kills. I hate that these cams are always in the way, so we can't necessarily see the kills until it goes through this play of the game. But this was a pretty good showing by New York. It was nice to see them battle, especially since the weekend they had at launch weekend at Minnesota. But there it is, Formal. This is just such a good map for him because of the long lines of sights, the long lanes. He can go ahead and control those. Look at Attach dropping almost 6,600, almost 7K. Massive map there from Attach. But with that, guys, thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Esports Analysis. If you're new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you guys have any comments, I respond to basically every one of my comments. So if you have anything you want to say, go ahead and put it down below. I'll get back to you. And with that, don't forget to leave a like before you head on your way. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.